Well, good news for everybody. Because of the EU, actually, it seems
Yeah.
like iPhone is going to implement RCS. Oh man. Well, in other news, like speaking of technology and kind of connecting over the network and things like that, have you heard about the RCS technology and kind of this whole blue bubble, green bubble that's going on with iPhone and Android?
Oh, tell me about it.
Okay, so RCS is just a kind of a generic messaging technology.
Mm-hmm.
So you've heard of like SMS messaging, MMS messaging, like
Yep.
when you're doing texting on your phone. That's kind of like older technology. So there's some newer technology called RCS, which is kind of a new protocol or standard that's trying to be established. Right. The thing is, iPhone has their approach of kind of the walled garden. Is like, no, we don't want to participate and we don't want to upgrade our technology. We're sticking with the old technology
Yeah.
so that the experience is better between iPhone to iPhone versus iPhone to Android. And so this has cropped up the whole blue bubble, green bubble. So whenever there's like group text and things like that, I'm sure y'all always see some people, if you're on an iPhone, there's a blue bubble versus a green bubble. Green bubble is going to be an Android phone, blue bubble is an iPhone. And so people are like, hey, like you're messing up our text because iPhone can't handle that transition. So whenever people are sending pictures, they might come in real grainy and small, or videos is super low quality. That's because there's this iPhone hasn't implemented this newer technology called RCS.
Mm.
Well, good news for everybody. Because of the EU, actually, it seems
Yeah.
like iPhone is going to implement RCS. So the European Union, right over in Europe, they've got a lot of different laws and they've got a lot of consumer protection laws. So that's really good because, right, iPhone, Android, they're international companies. So they've got to abide by those laws that they have over there. So they were doing actually an investigation on iPhone because they're saying, hey, basically, you guys aren't playing fair. Like
Yeah.
you're not participating in these protocols that are supposed to be standards and available for everybody, and you're making it so that the experience is purposely better on iPhone and purposely worse with anybody else. And that's kind of like anti-consumer type practices.
They also asked them to keep the USB-C because again, when now that everybody's using USB-C, Apple wanted to come back with a new type of interface. So the EU is also kind of pushing them and twisting their arm to be able to keep a standard, and that's the argument, make it a standard for everyone.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it makes a lot of sense, and I get it from the business standpoint from Apple iPhone, right? They want to keep whatever advantage they have, they want to keep that, right? So especially if you an iPhone user has bought all these things, they're like, they're gonna have to buy all USB-C. But the thing is, like USB-C is a standard, like
Mhm.
everyone's using it, so they're kind of stuck out. So it can hurt them and help them, I guess. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I mean, it is in Apple's DNA, right? Like Steve Jobs, he wanted to be close, like everything. Like iTunes is like all of the different, the iPod, right? And all of the devices is basically its own system. So I have been using Mac, I don't know, for the last, I guess, 7, 8 years. And so far, I don't need any to shift back to Microsoft. So sorry, Bill Gates. Sorry, Satya.
Hey, they're gonna force you in a bit. They're gonna integrate all this Chat GPT stuff. You're gonna
Yeah,
want it.
it's still I like my Mac, man.
Yeah, that's true. I think I bought an Apple phone just for some development to do some app development. But other than that, I never really use it outside of like, when I was in grade school and we're playing what is like the Oregon Trail and stuff where the
Mhm.
number crunchers, the little green robot, that stuff.
Yeah,
That's
in my case, I
playing
have
back
the
then.
two phones. I do have an iPhone and an Android. The problem is that that's the issue, right? Like it protects you so much that sometimes you cannot do things, so you have to kind of jailbreak it.
Mhm.
So for that, I have my Android that I can do whatever I want with the system. So
Yeah, that's pretty much it. So, and along like the trigger lines, I don't know if it's an iPhone Android thing. I mean, maybe it only works with the iPhone. So I haven't tried an Apple, so I might need to try that, see if it connects. But I don't know so that's always been a thing with Apple, is like, that's a way to keep someone within their ecosystem, is by kind of walling it off, so they're kind of forced into just using their stuff. But hopefully this RCS changes will make the texting experience better for everybody.
Yeah, for sure.